Another trade recap for today. Unfortunately, we took a loss, but that's all good. I think this was a A+ setup. Just unfortunate, you know. You don't win every single trade. I don't expect to win every single trade. We ended up winning the trade from Friday this morning anyway, the one that was held over the weekend. So this, I don't know. This week's alright. I feel like it was a perfectly good trade. I'll quickly explain it and then I'll also explain why I feel that it lost. I feel that it lost just because it's the market and the market wanted to do that. I don't really have a particular reason other than it didn't respect anything. It just wanted to be bearish when everything else was telling it was going to be bullish. So, perfectly fine. If I go into the 4 hour, which is where I always start when it comes to OBX, I had to wait all day for this, right? All day. So this big sweep happened. This is what got us out of the trade that we held over the weekend. So that came down. We won that, thankfully. And then just had to wait all day for it to come up. And then this here is actually a bearish candle. I know it's very small. I don't really need a horizontal ray. When we came up, we finally broke structure here. So that's bullish. Then we go down to the 1 hour. Same thing, we had already done this earlier, so it was bullish. We then broke structure again, bullish. And then I was just waiting for it to come back to an order block. It was either going to be the 4 hour order block or it was going to be this 1 hour order block, which is exactly what happened. So once it came back to the order block, we had this 15-minute strong low right here. This is a perfect setup. It is disappointing that it lost, but as I say, it's perfectly fine. This shit happens. We didn't overtrade. We followed the plan. Hopefully tomorrow's better. If not, it doesn't really matter. Perfect liquidity sitting right at the beginning of the OB here. So it was unmitigated. 4 hours in line, 1 hour's in line. Come back. Beautiful amount of liquidity just sitting there. Tapped it, bounced around for a little bit. This was more waiting for London session to open up. Once London session opened up, we got this big push, which if we drop down to the 5 minute, as you can see, this is the range. So right here, we came very close to taking out this liquidity, but we never did. Then we came up, waited patiently, came down, finally took it out. We mark out the range. Here's the high of the 5-minute range. Here's the low of the 5-minute range. And then we're just waiting for a breaker structure on the 5-minute and a breakout of that range, which we almost got it here on this candle, but ended up getting it on this one. Went up a tiny bit, nothing much, and then just a dramatic progression to fucking SL. Now, what do I think is the cause for this trade to have actually failed? I think, as I say, the market just wants to do what the market wants to do. OBX model was perfect. Couldn't get better, to be honest with you. We just had this big 4 hour order block. If I can go... I forget where all my tools are when it comes to this. I never do stuff on computer, but... We had this big order block here on the 4 hour. Whatever, you get the point. Bunch of liquidity inside of it. I already knew about this prior to the trade. That's why when we come to here, the reason we actually got a reaction back down to that order block was because we took out some liquidity. But there was plenty more in there. So the reason that you can't take this trade straight off that 4 hour order block, the bearish move, is it's just a lower percentage. So it's probably like a B minus C trade with OBX, right? There's still potential there, but we're talking about like a 35-40% win rate. Like I'm not taking that. Not when I see there's a potential A+ setup right underneath it. I'm obviously just going to wait for the A+ setup. That's a much better decision to make. And even this trade that, like, I know that liquidity did make a move, But you can see it's just bouncing around anyway. Like it's not even necessarily doing its own thing. It's just bouncing around. It'll probably come back up. I wanted to go 1 to 2 as always, but I won't lie, I did plan to get out at this liquidity level here, only because I have been burned a lot when it comes to 4-hour order blocks in the past. And this liquidity right here to me caused a pretty dramatic break of structure. This is a pretty huge candle down, right? Came up, got respected, continued down again. So this to me is a pretty dramatic level. We're also at this, it's not really an order block, but 15-minute order block or something like that. Like I just didn't want to risk it. I would have been happy with I think it was 1.7, 1.68% today, but we ended up losing anyway, so it's not too bad. Uh, Not much else to say. A good trading day.